Just didn't want to talk over his connection. When we get started. Okay. All right. I think we will get started. We're going to call the meeting of July 14th, 2016 to order. May I take the roll call, please?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Here.
Council members Achara.
Here.
Long. Shepherd.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here. Everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance and then remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act of this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed with the Office of the Municipal Clerk on December 29th, 2015. There are two fire exits, one to my right, take you out to the front parking lot, and one to my left will take you out to the rear parking lot. If you have a cell phone, now's a good time to turn it off. If you need to make a call, kindly go outside into the hallway, like our CFO is doing here. Tonight, we're going to present a State of the Township address. We'll get to that as soon as we get our technical difficulties out of the way. In the meantime, we'll go on to the regular portion of our agenda. So, the purpose of this public portion is to solely ask questions and to understand resolutions and vouchers that appear on this agenda. It's not an occasion for the public or an hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on this agenda should be asked during the public comments portion and at the conclusion of the meetings. Before I bring anybody up, I'm just going to get a quick council report while Steve's doing that. Bill, you have something for us?
Nothing, just that Freeholder Arnone did contact us and let us know that the county is ready and poised to complete the paving of Monmouth Road from Roswell to the Interlaken border. So
Great.
it'd be a good, nice thing for the town.
Yeah, can't wait. Donna, anything for us?
Yes, the Historical Museum received the 1772 Foundation Awards grant to New Jersey Historical Preservation Organizations for the $12,500 toward the exterior restoration and painting of the water tower on the property over there by the museum.
Great. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Rob?
Two quick things. Planning board a couple of weeks ago, for those folks in Oakhurst, between around Monmouth Road and the Board of Ed building, those of you that are having challenges with your wireless, Verizon's going to put an extra small network node in there, so your wireless single should be a lot better now. And also in that same area, because they're going to be right on the corner of Monmouth and West Park, which is where the node's going. Planning board's doing a lot of consideration on how we can improve that entire corner as far as parking is concerned, travel through there for pedestrians and traffic. So stay tuned. You might see some nice improvements there. The owners of the property are very open to some suggestions that we're having.
Oh, we got plenty.
Plenty of suggestions.
Oh, yes. That's good, Rob. Thank you. Andrew?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that on August 2nd in this room, there's going to be a property tax relief information session put on by the state. They'll be talking about things like homestead rebates, veterans deductions, senior deductions. So they will have a group of people here doing a presentation and answering questions.
Great.
It's all at 7 o'clock on August 2nd.
Marty?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
You okay? We have Marty back after he had a little surgery. He's okay. He's one-eyed Marty now. So don't look into his left eye. His right eye. Left eye.
Left eye.
Don't look into that one. Okay. We're going to move on. I'm going to wait for Steve to get ready with his technical part. Otherwise, we'll go manual for our State of the Township address. In the meantime, I'll open a public hearing. Anybody have anything on the consent agenda, resolutions? Come on up to the mic. State your name and address for the record. Mr. Geiger, you're on.
You know it's summer.
How about me or him?
Don Geiger, 1108 Grassmere. Start off with my favorite part, the bills list.
Oh, we're going to hold those tonight,
Oh.
right? Then there was a mistake, though?
No.
I'm only serious.
What?
We're going to
I
pay
did
the
all-
bills.
Okay.
Paying the bills. Go ahead, Mr.
Okay.
Geiger.
On page 1, accredited analytic resource, soil testing, Deal Road, because
Oh,
780.
that's the third one down.
Yes, that is We had some illegal dumping that took place
Okay.
and out in Wayside on Deal Road
Okay.
that we had to have the material tested before we could take it to either a landfill or some other facility if it came back with any contaminants in it.
Okay. That's not good.
No,
Um,
no, it came back clean.
well, that's good news, but you still had to take it somewhere.
We still had to take it somewhere. We had to pay for the testing.
Still same page. Allcom Technologies Inc. Cable crimping, radios, vehicles. A police department or other?
Police
Or both?
department.
Okay. And then Asbury Auto Tops. Recover driver's seat number 24. That's a pretty big driver's seat.
2-seater.
2-seater.
Oh.
It's one of the sanitation vehicles.
Okay, it wasn't plural, that's why. And then Atlantic Plumbing Supply Corp. 2 toilets, Wayside Park. Are there regular toilets or porta potties?
Regular toilets.
Okay. Actually, there's another place where, but that'll probably answer the question. Barg's Lawn and Garden Shop. Line trimmers, is that weed whackers or something other than that for the grounds department?
Weed whackers.
Okay. Let's save you some time if you put weed whacker, but that's okay. And then I take it we bought from Buyer Ford, a 2016 Ford F450 with grain body. Now is that oat, wheat, or rye?
Rye.
Okay. Just was wondering. And then Bill Wilson, photography. Now, you should have asked me. I've got this old Instamatic at home. And
No, because of our complexion, we needed quality photos
Oh.
to enhance our image a little more.
Okay,
We
right.
would have had you do it, but
There's a lot of touch up.
we
You don't
need a
provide
lot of
touch-up. That's
No, I
a lot
don't.
of filter in here.
And then the last one on page 1. Brian Penta, I guess it's pronounced, repair, paint, light tower. Which one or where, I should say?
We have the portable light towers.
Oh, the ones that, yeah, okay. That the police use when they're, something's going on. Moving on to, well, I'll call it page 2, or the backside of page 1, whatever you want to call it. CDW Government LLC, an LCD monitor, which isn't all that much, but who was that for?
That was in the police department.
In the police department, okay. And then right underneath it is a Xerox printer. I'm taking that was to purchase,
Yes.
okay, for the,
I believe that was for human services.
okay. And now I know barracudas are very dangerous because this backup server, $490, costs $5,200 plus. That's an awful lot of.
It's government information. We have to be protected, Mr. Geiger. We just can't have that information out there in the cloud
I will
anywhere.
almost be willing to bet. I'm not a bettor.
You're gonna give us yours.
No, no. But I'm also willing to bet that if they can hack Bank of America and other places, you probably could get. But anyway, okay.
That's a spam.
Central Towing and Recovery. And now, I know it's police department. I'm guessing an investigation. They towed something from Middlesex, which was probably a car.
Yes.
Do you know more about that?
I don't.
Okay. Just asking. And then CI Technologies Incorporated, again, the police department, which I've no gripe with them really, but annual maintenance renewal for all their electronics, or
I believe that's something specific to the detective bureau.
Okay. And then almost at the bottom, Garden State Highway Products, Police Department again, traffic markers, Deal Road. Are those like
Hollister.
Those orange cones.
yeah,
Yes.
well, the tall, thin,
Yes.
skinny ones? Okay. And actually, I think that's a good idea. Because I've seen some people jump in the left lane for turning on Logan much early before those were there.
Mhm.
And once again, with those, I've got 2 dogs that'll love to bark their heads off. I'd be glad to lend them out. Okay, moving on to page 3.
This, by the way, folks, if you don't have one of these, it's 49 pages long.
And I went through all 49 pages. We've got two things for Georgian Court University. A June 6th seminar registration, and then a course registration. One was for $300 and one was for $500. Can you share who that was for and what?
It was for human services counselors.
Okay. Oh, so it's more than one person.
Yes.
Okay.
And just so you guys know, this is kind of like Andrew plays the shell answer man here.
Yeah.
Don tries to stump him, but Andrew he won't give in.
Well, I think only once.
Once you had him.
And then from Granger, we got, do you know about how many tires for the pool carts?
I don't.
Whoa!
Stumped.
That's
Got him.
okay.
He will look that up and get back.
Put the whammy on him. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you did. And then further on down, but no, a little bit less than halfway. JCM Associates, PD, Police Department, and then it's L.ELD graduation.
Right. That's what used to be the DARE program
Okay.
is now referred to as the LEAD program.
Oh, change the name to protect the guilty or
I
something.
guess.
Okay. And then John E. Reed and Associate Incorporated. Police Department interview, interrogation. Then they have a number by it. What was that all about? Can you tell me or not?
Tell me where you're at again. Oh, John E. Reed. Okay. That was it's a course for the detectives.
Okay.
Teaches interrogation tactics.
Okay. Does that include waterboarding or not?
Arm twisting.
And then further down on Lanigan Associates on the replacement of body armor. Is that through the grant or not?
Yeah, no, that is through the grant.
Okay. And then they also have, same company, Skip One, firearms gun rack. Is the replacing an existing rack? They need another rack
And replacing an existing rack.
because it's kaput.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Lester Glenn Ford, next to last. Trans mounts on a police department Ford Explorer. What exactly is that? Because I might say transmission mounts or...
I believe it is related to the transmission. I couldn't tell you exactly what
Okay.
it is, though.
Okay. And Reliance Graphics, 2016 primary ballot printing. Is that wasn't for the regular? Which primary was that for?
The June 4th
Okay,
or June 8th, whatever they.
whatever.
The June primary.
Okay, and we're responsible for
We
printing.
pay every year. The county pays, and then they issue us an invoice every year.
Aha.
And they do it to every municipality.
Oh, that must be nice. All right. And then we spent Renegade Armor, very good name, over $11,000 for firearms equipment. What the heck did we buy for that? A couple AK-47s and other things?
No, I believe they are replacing the rifles.
Okay. And Rutgers, one-day seminar. I mean, it's not all that much in the grand scheme of things, but do you know who went?
That was the director of public works.
Not the director. Okay. And now we got Seacoast Chevrolet for June miscellany parts for Township. And I'm looking at the difference between June and May. So either stocked up on parts or we really went through a lot of parts.
A lot of breakdowns in
A lot of
June.
breakdowns?
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the answer.
More breakdowns in June.
Okay.
Boom.
And then Sackler Realty Services Group. Inspection and value, I think, summary.
That's related to a tax appeal issue that we have.
Okay. And Supply King. Floor machine repair for
Recreation.
recreation. What, buffer?
Yes.
Oh, hey, that's pretty expensive buffer though. I wonder if you
Industrial
could buy
strength.
one for less.
No.
No?
Not of that quality, Mr.
Oh,
Becker.
okay.
You could buy one for less, though.
But not of that quality.
Not of that.
Okay, just, hey. And then we have, on the following page, the standard. New GTL comp initial deposit.
Tell me where you're at.
Yeah, I lost
The
you.
back page.
Oh, the standard, the vendor.
The standard is the vendor. New GTL comp initial deposit. I just flipped the page
Yeah, I
over.
see it. I don't know what that is.
Group term line, that's the new.
Oh, he is down there.
What?
That's our group life insurance.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I saw that earlier. Well, okay.
See, he's my backup, just in case.
Okay. And that answers that other one. More trimmers. Weed whackers is what I call them. And then Trident Abstract Company, deed re-recording fee. Deed for.
It was the deeds for the Poplar Village purchase.
Oh,
It
okay.
had to be recorded a second time.
Okay. Because they didn't record them right the first time, or.
No, because we had to change them and then re-record them.
Aha, okay. And then the Township of Ocean Sewerage Facility Department, video equipment, I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'll ask anyway. For a camera truck. This is the one that has a little fiber optic camera that tells them, okay, this is where the break is and we need to replace it or we can repair it.
Yes.
That type of thing? Okay, how's that for a good guess? Now, I gotta check, I think you're missing a boat here with Canadian goose management. Don't we wanna manage all the geese? I mean, even though, not only the ones from Canada, but the ones from America, but, okay. Van Sant Contractors, Preserve Spray Garage. Is that some type of spray that they put on the floor? Insect spray?
I don't know what these. I'll have to check with Public Works on that.
Okay. And let's see, am I almost done? I don't know. Let me flip the page.
You are.
Yeah, you're pretty much there.
not
I think you're
necessarily.
done.
Oh, you're closing in.
No, well, not unless Mr.
Stretch,
Gallagher's
John.
ready to
Right,
go.
Rounding the corner. Turn.
He's done.
Okay, Mako, collision repair and auto.
Now wait a minute.
Somewhere on
He goes,
I flipped the page.
what'd you do? Take your agenda apart and restaple it and not
No.
in order?
No,
What now?
that
Mako.
Mako.
Oh, he missed that page. You have to go back a page.
Oh, I thought we really got through that
You know
one.
what?
Okay, I'm
Got you.
sorry.
Collision repair.
Saying.
You think it's for collision repair, right? Or you're not
No,
sure?
well, no. You
Okay.
you painted an expedition for code enforcement. So did
Oh.
you have an excess expedition, but you had to repaint
No,
it?
the fire district donated their old expedition to us.
Okay,
then
and
we
you
had
wanted to
painted.
change the paint
Exactly.
job. Okay, that's see. And then MCANJ. Who's that?
I think
Monmouth
that's that guy
County.
down there. Is it you?
It is. It's on membership dues.
Okay. And on Mid Jersey Municipal Joint Insurance Fund,
Jiff.
claims paid under deductible. Is that a combined total?
Yes.
Okay, see? And then, yeah, the Monmouth Monmouth Wire and Computer. Drop off e-waste / pull. Are two separate things?
Well, it was pulled. That's probably 2 monthly charges. It's
Okay.
$500 per month.
Per month, okay. I just, and then I'm just more curious. We must have used a lot of water in May. Because the New Jersey American Water, between the April usage and the May usage, is actually a little bit over, not much, $5,000 more expensive in May.
Got to keep those fields green.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
So they're there in the fall when we need to use them.
Okay. And
Some fields have wells, some don't.
And then Ocean Township Auto Body, repair a 2014 Charger. Will our insurance cover most or all that?
It will cover all that.
Okay, and Quality Auto Glass Windshield OEM vehicle. Is that because an acorn fell on it or
I think it was a rock.
a, Would that be covered or not? Nah, okay, just, yeah, I skipped back, I'm sorry, I apologize for being not quite as organized as I usually am, but hey, what can you say? And, you know, again, here's another chance for you to save some money. On the new vehicle graphics, I'd be happy to come out down with my magic marker and, you know.
It might look like you did it, though. That's not the look we're going for, Mr. Geiger.
And then, next to the last, Woods End Laboratories Incorporated. DEP mandated leaf testing? I mean, a leaf is a leaf.
Mulch. I think it's for
It's the
mulch.
compost
Oh, okay.
yard over at the plant.
Okay, and they want to test it because they want it.
Yes.
Okay. Uh-huh. And last, zone striping, at least for this part. Zone striping. Traffic and pavement marks number 1. That must be all over the place.
It is. It's the bike lanes. It's the yellow
Yeah,
lines.
I'll
it's
get
the
that at
stop
the tail
bars.
end.
So,
Not that I dislike them, it's just a whole nother issue. Now, moving right along to resolutions. Let's start with 16136. Is the current wading pool that deteriorated, this is,
No, we're adding
adding.
a brand new, state-of-the-art, beautiful, and this is really a great enhancement to the town. Probably going to talk about it during the presentation.
Okay,
It's a kiddie park pool, if you will, like one like you'll see on the boardwalk in Asbury Park.
yeah,
We're adding that to the pool
okay.
center
Will
over
be
there.
adjoined or a little bit separated or what? Just,
it'll be at the location where the current kiddie pool is.
Okay.
So that'll come out and this will go in.
okay. And then, on 16137, if I understood how it was written, we're taking away the installation of traffic loop detectors, whatever the heck that is, with traffic cameras. But the cost isn't going to change. Am I understanding that correctly?
You are understanding that correctly, yes. Some of the intersections use loop detectors that are in the pavement.
Ah,
So the lights are on a timer during the day because
Right.
there's enough traffic. At night, though, they'll stay green until a car approaches the opposite intersection. So it'll
Okay.
be done with a camera versus a loop detector.
okay. And we're going to authorize a contractor with groundwater and environmental services, a sampling at Ocean Glades condominium, blah, blah, blah. How come?
Because we are the owners of that property at this point,
Ah,
and we now need to move forward with the investigation of any environmental issues.
okay. And last but not least, on 16141, why do we need a raised, or another, I'm not sure, walk platform at the recycling center?
We have one there now. We're going to
Right.
put a second one in. Again, just because of the size of those dumpsters, this way all the material doesn't stay at the front end of it. People can walk along the raised platform and put it in the far end of it.
Oh,
And right now, you can pull up your truck and you heave ho.
Evo,
So if you have that platform, you can walk down and
distribute it
distribute
evenly.
it evenly.
And this is, the county did give, I think it was about $8,000 towards this cost, and then our recycling tonnage grant will pick up the rest.
Oh, okay. Then basically, it's not costing us anything, sort of.
Not directly.
Not directly. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Geiger. Anybody else on the consent agenda resolutions? Come on up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Mr. Lefferson, 236 Cliffwood Road. I have a question to ask you. The Treasury County of Monmouth June dumping fees is $62,310.64. That's for the garbage, correct? Now,
Yes.
I have a follow-up question, which maybe I might have to do at the end of the meeting. My follow-up question is, how much does our dumping fees go up from like from May till June until July, when we have this big influx of summer people, summer residents, and because there's a lot of neighborhoods like I crossed over here. There's nobody living there. You drive through there. There's
Brian,
no
can you
there's
back
no
off the mic a
cans.
little bit for us so they
Okay.
can pick you up better?
Okay. Oh,
That's great, thank you.
okay. What my question to you is, can you give me an indication of how much that fee goes from like January until June or July? Is my you don't have this information? Is what my question is, because the population in this town goes up a great deal in the summertime.
Yeah, so we probably go up on our tipping fees too, I'm sure.
Because some of these people who come here in the summertime, they have 6 or 7, 8 cans out in front of their houses, where the average person has maybe 2 or 3. You comprende what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
they don't have them there.
Yeah,
They're
during the
not
winter.
putting them out for 9 months out of the
But
year.
no, but they're only there. Those people are only there maybe for 70 days, 75 days.
So,
Yeah. So
what's your question, Brian?
my question is, you don't have a figure on how much it goes up and down. So because what I'm trying to figure out is what our population in this town, what does it go from in January until after Memorial Day into June? And I talked to you on the phone about this, Mr. Siciliano.
Yeah, I don't know what the relevance of that is, though.
What do you mean? You don't know what the relevance
I mean,
about
we're
this is?
prepared for whatever the population is.
Because when we have more people to come into town, we have more traffic
We do.
and we have problems.
You know, Brian, we're a seashore town, like it or not. Although we don't touch the ocean, I mean, we're a destination for summertime as well as other towns. And, you know, just like any of the other seashore towns, your population swells up. We're prepared for it. It's good for trade, for commerce. It's good for everybody, really. Is there traffic? Yes. I've lived here 57 years. I've never been late to an appointment. I somehow get around West Park, Deal Road, Monmouth Road. I somehow manage it. Now,
No.
I'm not saying anybody else can. Maybe they all have struggles. I sit in traffic just like anybody else. But it's what happens, Brian. I mean, we pick up the garbage. It's never laying around more than it should be.
I will.
What's the problem?
I will take up the rest of my complaints about the summer people at the public session, because what you're telling me is there's nothing you can do about the traffic on Deal Road or on Monmouth
We're
Road.
always looking
but
at improvements, Brian. Don't get me wrong, but you know, yes, our town swells up in the summertime. You know, these roadways were cut in 156 years ago. We're trying to cope with that, but I'm glad these folks are here. To tell you the truth, I mean,
because
this is-
Mr. Sisson, I went to school with your brothers, and
I
you tell me.
understand.
Listen, let me tell you something. In the house I live in now,
Yes.
I've been in my house since I was 6 years old, and I was born where the sewer plant is. So I know a lot about this town. So I'll take up the rest of my complaints at the public session. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on anything on the consent agenda or resolutions? Please come on up to the microphone and state your name and address. That's after, sir. That's at the end. You can do public comment. Okay.
Paul Merowitz, Ocean, New Jersey. Mr. Mayor, I'm surprised. 57 years, you look much younger.
It's the white suit, the Don Johnson suit he dropped off.
It must be the suit. Just a quickie. Those summer people actually pay property taxes the full year round, so they're entitled to that garbage. When I was chair of the technology committee in Jackson, one of the most interesting things we found is that the state contract for data processing or computer supplies wasn't necessarily the best buy for the township. When I looked at the bills and claims, and I saw a Seagate 1 terabyte SATA drive for $186, it rang bells in my head. I can go to Costco today and buy a 5 terabyte drive for like about $139. I took a look at the price on Amazon for a 1 terabyte drive. It was $50. Okay. At the same time, I took a look at what the price is for the Barracuda backup server. Amazon had it at $58.93. This was $52.50. So the question really becomes, when we look at buying data processing or computer supplies, do we do an outside look first before we just simply go to the
This
state
town,
contract?
Almost anything we buy is not really based on price, it's on cost. And when I say that, I mean by quality also. So just, you can get something that's priced a lot less, but maybe the quality's not as good. And
Same product.
Going to
Chris.
cost you more in the long run.
It's the same
But
product.
we're not sure about the integrity of something that you're buying there also. I mean, these vendors were vetted out. We know who we're dealing with. So I think sometimes that has something to do with it, Paul. But you
We don't
talk to our
really-
purchasing agent.
You can see typically when we buy something, it'll state if it's state contract or not. Some things we buy state contract, some things we don't. It really just depends. We will typically get 3 quotes on just about any item of any significant cost that we buy.
All right, because some of those quotes
No,
I just didn't
Yeah.
understand.
But I think you said the Barracuda was actually
Lower.
low.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it will fluctuate, but I can certainly check with the IT guy and see what the reason was for that other item.
Yeah. The other thing that caught my attention, Andrew, was the explanation for Seacoast Chevrolet Oldsmobile. Okay? June miscellaneous parts were higher than May. You attributed that to usage. Do we really pay our vendors on less than a 30-day cycle? And if so, why?
So do we pay them on a less than 30-day cycle?
Well, June usage was up. June usage was up, and June dollars are up, which
Well,
means we
I
paid them
think you
fairly
meant
quickly.
The June bill probably was from.
That's the difference. Okay, I
That's
just
from
want to make
May.
sure I understood
One
that.
was April, one was May.
Thank you.
I'm sure. Thanks, Paul. Anybody else on the resolutions or vouchers or consent agenda? Come on up to the microphone. State your name and address. See if there's nobody. We'll move on. Tonight we have the workshop meeting for.
No workshop,
Chris, you gonna do your?
consent.
No, I'm going to wait until we're going to get through the agenda, folks, and then I'll do the. So we have the consent agenda for. I'm sorry, June 23rd, 2016. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes, but I abstain on the minutes of June 23rd and on Resolution 16-132.
Okay.
And council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and this was for also, right, 16-132 through 16-143. Individual action, we have vouchers in the amount of $1,653,158.46. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, also tonight we have for resolution 16-135, accept the following grants, Cops and Shops Summer Shore Initiative. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16-136, authorize a contract with Integrated Aquatics Engineering in Doylestown, Pennsylvania to perform and design the bid drawings for the demolition of the existing wading pool and the construction of a new activity pool. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16-137, approve change order number 2 of the 2015 roadway improvement program awarded to Fernandez Construction Inc., charging the installation of traffic loop detectors and changing that to traffic cameras. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16-138, authorize a professional service contract for the period of July 1st, 2016 through June 30, 2017 with the following: A. Dilworth Paxson LLP Bond Counsel, and B. Leon S. Avakian Inc., Township Engineer. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16-139, request the approval from the Director of Division of Local Government Services to establish a dedicated trust by rider for the Township celebration donations pursuant to NJSA 48-5-29. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. 16-140, authorize a contract with Groundwater Environmental Services, Inc. for a collection and sampling of Ocean Glades condominium complex at a cost not to exceed $2,990. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
And second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16-141, authorize the award of a contract for MTB LLC for the construction of a raised walk platform at the recycling center on Sunset Avenue at a cost not to exceed $23,700. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16-144, authorize a contract with Reportit to provide third-party anonymous and confidential reporting services at a cost not to exceed $3,000 per year. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, I'm going to explain what Reportit is once we do our presentation a little bit, folks, but it's something that I'm very excited about. It's new to the township. It's just one more way of being open form of government and accessible to everybody out there as far as reporting anything in town except for emergency 911 situations, and we'll expound upon that shortly. But we will be the first township in the country to be on this app, and so I'm very excited about that. 16-145, authorize a tax collector to cancel the real estate taxes for the period of May 23rd through December 31st, 2016, and refund a portion of the 2016 taxes already paid by the property owner has been declared 100% disabled vet. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And tonight for adoption, we have ordinance number 2274. Ben, would you read the title, please?
A bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements, appropriating $450,000, authorizing the issuance of $427,500 bonds or notes to furnish a portion of the cost, and directing a special assessment of those costs.
Great. Someone please open a public hearing on ordinance number 2274.
I'll open the public hearing on ordinance 2274.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garfalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Anybody wishing to be heard in ordinance 2274, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. So this is about capital improvement, paving, sidewalks, etc.
Frank Farrell, 157 Lot 3. What?
I'm sorry, Mr. Burrow. What's your
I'm
address?
sorry, sir.
What's your address, sir?
18 Ellen Court.
Ellen, thank you.
Now, let me say first, I am ONS, old and slow,
Okay.
so
Take your time.
bear with me, a couple of things I want to say. I want to know why it said on the paper here, Ellen Court, 157-3. Now, why you say my curb has to be fixed, or my sidewalk? Is the whole Ellen Court gonna be fixed, or is it just my curb? Because I looked at my curb, isn't any worse than in the other curb. And you got one street in here that's, looked like it was bombed out, as far as the curb is concerned. So I went around the neighborhood, I wanna know, am I just stuck out, or why my 157 lot?
I'm going to defer to.
Oh, by the way,
Go ahead.
Andrew came out to me, and
Yeah.
we did have a nice
Chat?
conversation.
Okay.
And then after he left, I had a few more questions, so Andrew, it was very nice to come out to my house.
I'm going to let him finish up with you now, too. He's part of the assessment district. Well, he was out there with the engineer, and they did the assessing themselves.
We started at the end of Ellen Court. I believe your property is the furthest one, and we're going to stop there, and then the next phase will pick up next year. So I'm looking at the list, there's about roughly 20 properties in the assessment district for the first phase of Ellen Court, including yours. And as your neighbor was there at that time as well when we met, his will be the first property in for next year's project. So we did have to, we have to start them and stop them somewhere. So you happen to be the last house for this year. He'll be the first property in for next year. But again, as I said, we'll come out. This project will be put out to bid probably in August. We'll award a contract hopefully in September. The contractor, it'll be up to him. He may want to start some of the work this fall. But more than likely, I think your area won't get done until next spring. So we can come out in the spring and I'll walk the property with the engineer and the contractor. And if there's some curb we can salvage or some sidewalk we can salvage, we will do it.
Oh, and the interest on in other words, you assessed me $5,000. I know
Right.
the man wasn't there yet.
Right.
And that's $5,000. And living on fixed income.
Mhm.
And you talk about, would that, like that, to me, that would come out to $1,250 a year. Was it 4 years to pay it off?
4 years.
No, it's 5 years.
with 1%, I believe.
So
It's
that
even less. What has it been running,
Someone-
Steve? Less than 1/2 of 1%?
Less than 1%. So 5 years, sir. 1,000.
5 years.
Right.
And what would the interest be on that?
It'll be a little, right around 1%, if not a little bit less.
I think that's,
Like I said, when we get closer, myself and the engineer, we can come out and we'll walk the property with you so you can see exactly what's going to take place.
in other words, I might not have to get all of it done. The curb, I might have to get the whole curb.
Well, I don't want to make a commitment now, but we'll come out and look at it.
Yeah.
And if there's some that can be salvaged for any
Okay.
reason, we will. I think in your case, when we looked at it, the curb pretty much had to be done. I think it was maybe the sidewalk that we might be able to save some of it.
the
But we'll
thing-
take a look at it.
Yeah, the curb wasn't any worse than any other.
Right, but a lot of the curb in that area is scheduled
It's
for
gotta go.
replacement.
All right,
Yep.
okay.
Cool.
We thank you, Andrew.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else on ordinance 2274? Seeing and hearing no one, someone please make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2274.
Make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2274.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance 2274.
Motion to move on ordinance 2274.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, also for adoption of ordinance 2274A, that's the A entry. Vin, would you read the title?
An ordinance authorizing the private sale of non-conforming real property known as Block 9, Lot 53 on Howard Avenue to a contiguous property owner.
Someone please open the public hearing on ordinance 2274A.
Motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2274A.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance 2274A, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on ordinance 2274A.
Make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2274A.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance 2274A.
I'd like to make a motion to vote on ordinance 2274A.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, next for adoption also is ordinance 2276. Vin, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Land Development Ordinance.
Someone please open the public hearing on 2276.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2276.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anybody wishing to be heard on 2276, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2276.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2276.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance 2276.
I'd like to make a motion to move ordinance 2276.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and tonight for introduction, we have ordinance number 2277. Vin, would you read the title, please?
Sure. An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance for the Township, amending fees for special meetings of the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Great, someone please make a motion to introduce ordinance 2277.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance 2277.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, that'll have its public hearing on 8/4, the meeting of 8/4. If anybody has anything at this time, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Mr. Lefferson, I see you're first. Come on up.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. I have quite a few questions to ask. My first question is, if there's a community center that is located in a commercial zone in this town, I'm not going to say where it is, are they allowed to valet parking? Are they allowed to have a valet system and put 150 to 200 cars on streets in Oakhurst? I think you should pass an ordinance about that, because I don't think that's right. Now, this is a community center that's in a commercial zone. I'm not going to say where it is. I just don't think it's right. I just don't think it's right. If somebody wants to have an affair or a fundraiser or whatever, it's like my church having something, and they're going to valet 200 cars, and it says valet parking. And they put 150 cars on streets in Oakhurst. I just don't think it's fair to the
I think we
citizens.
should have some notice if they're
So,
having an
well,
event
either
like
that, they should be made to get a permit and pay something to the town.
Okay.
It wasn't
brought
yeah.
to my attention. It's the first I'm hearing of it, Brian.
Yeah, and if you want to discuss it, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what organization it was and what it was, but I'm not going to go into detail on that now. All I'm going to say, it would be like me owning a restaurant or a bar and valeting customers into a residential
100%, I get it,
neighborhood.
sure.
It's ludicrous as far as I'm concerned. It would upset me if they parked in front of my house. I can tell you. Okay, my other question is, you passed a no-knock ordinance a while back because a few people came and complained, and I believe some of the people who complained are here tonight. Now, I'm coming here tonight to complain about something which I've complained in the town before. What I'm going to say is it only happens in the summertime. Our town, the population expands, and you say our town is a summer town, even though our town is called Ocean Township,
No.
even though we're not near an ocean.
We function year round. We
Okay,
swell up in the summer,
we
we're
function
near
year
the
we
ocean.
function
That
we function year
happens.
round.
We really do.
But my complaint to you, this is my complaint to you,
Go ahead.
and this only happens mostly on Fridays,
Okay.
between say 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock on Fridays, and it happens between Brown Place near 7-Eleven on Monmouth Road, and it goes down maybe to Deal Road or maybe a little past Deal Road. I know there's nothing you can do about the traffic on Deal Road. Years ago, maybe you could have done something about it. But this condition only happens in the summertime. And my complaint to you is, not anybody in this town, whether they're a summer or a winter resident or a year-round resident, like this gentleman said before, well, they pay for garbage pickup, so listen. All I'm telling you is if these people were driving through his community, his gated community, his head would explode. So my question to you is, the problem, and it's mostly on Fridays because some people, they have to be home by a certain time on Fridays, which I understand. But my question to you is, if my life is in danger, my wife's life's in danger coming home from work, she takes a different way home from work. She works in West Long Branch. But people complain to me constantly about this, and I work in a town, and it's a constant. In the summertime, it's a constant problem.
Right.
And what I'm saying to you is, something has to be done about this because somebody's going to get killed.
Right.
Listen. Let me put it this way.
Go ahead.
My stepson got killed in an automobile accident in 1989, single car accident. So I know what it's like when two Ocean Township police officers came to my house at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we had to go down to identify them. So what I'm telling you is this problem, and it's only in the summertime. Because let me tell you something. On Saturdays, I can drive around the town like I'm in Pennsylvania, driving in Amish country. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is there has to be some kind of either undercover or something, because what I'm saying to you is, have you ever looked at the inspection sticker in your car? You know what it says in your car? It says you tax, you drive, you pay.
Ryan, let me ask you something.
So, yeah.
We have patrol out there, and folks and our police are aware of it. That's our streets that swell up. They're on extra patrol. Now, if folks are crawling along at a very slow pace, stopping them for no reason does no good. If they're doing something, if there's a violation, they will stop them. So I think they're doing their due diligence out there. I'll get a police report for you. I'm sure
Listen.
tickets are up. This
4 or 5 years ago, I drove around with him in the town,
Right.
the manager. And we sat in 7-Eleven, correct, Mr. Brennan? And you know what he said to Chief Amodio? And we sat there, because the chief said to me, he said, Brian, we'll drive around for 2 hours. We'll go wherever you want. We sat in 7-Eleven in an unmarked chief's car. And he sat there, and people pulled out. What did people do? They pulled out and blocked the whole lane of traffic. And what did you say to the chief? Is that against the law? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure
I don't
that
think I
out.
said that, Brian.
No.
How else could you get out of there if you didn't do that?
You wait. Yeah, you wait. Because these people that come here in the summertime, they don't wait. And if you don't get out of their way,
Okay.
and they
Not to belabor the point, but if we're going to talk about that day, I think
Yeah.
we ended the trip early because we didn't see what you thought we were going to see.
Well, no, that's
Well, that's true.
No. Listen. You
Well,
could.
I'm just telling you, when we were out there that day, we set the time.
You can
aside.
tell me a
We
spaceship's going to land in this
took
parking
the
lot, and I wouldn't
time
believe
to
you.
go
So,
out there
yeah,
with
so,
you,
yeah, so,
and you voluntarily
so,
called it off because there just wasn't
Yeah.
things out there happening that you had thought.
Okay,
were
what did the chief do? He pulled some poor slob over that was going 20 miles an hour on Norwood Ave.
He wasn't pulling someone over. The man was stopped.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So, yeah. And you let the guy go.
Brian,
So, yeah.
anything else?
But no, this is what I'm saying.
Yes,
It's a
you're
danger.
upset about the traffic. I got you.
And if any one of you people want to meet with me tomorrow, I will show you exactly what goes on.
Okay.
And the chief knows exactly what goes on because I met with him last year in the church parking lot twice, and they did give some tickets. They cut through the church parking lot. I'm just telling you, it's and this only and I called Mr. Achera up. He never called me back. I don't know where you live, Mr. Achera. If you want to meet me down at 7-Eleven tomorrow, you be my guest.
I'm actually
Yeah.
well aware of the church. I live right
Yeah.
around the corner
Yeah.
from there, so I am aware of that.
Because you drive you drive in Wayside, you don't have this problem. You drive anywhere else. You think it's funny, Mr. Siciliano, or what?
No, I don't think it's funny, Brian. I'm not laughing at you.
No.
And I'm just saying, if you have anything else.
If you drive in Wayside, you have the same type of problems pulling out of.
Once you get over Route 18, you don't have a problem.
The roadways swell
No.
up on Friday for sure.
If you had these people driving through your neighborhood, your head would explode. Is what I'm telling you. So
I'm
yeah,
getting a visual when you say that.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
You don't have this. Once you get across Route 18, you don't have this problem. You can't do nothing about the traffic on Deal Road. But this is only my only complaint is on Fridays.
Okay.
Do you comprende what I'm saying? And what they should do with the police officers is they should put them undercover, and they should have they should, when these summer people come down, they should be more. Let me put it to you this way: you had a problem with the college kids years ago, right?
Right.
And you went around to the college kids when they rented the houses, because I got one of the booklets at home. Mr. Torsha gave it to me, the police officer, Mr. Torsha, is a good friend of mine. And I read everything in there, but the summer rentals, you don't give it to the summer rentals, I bet you.
We give the summer rentals on it when we give them the COs. We also give them the garbage schedule.
Yeah, you
collection
tell them when to
schedule,
take their
things like
garbage out.
Well,
So
I
they're
mean,
lucky.
that's important. These are.
They're lucky they-
I mean, that's a given.
They're lucky if they can mow their lawns. So forget about that. Is what I'm
Anything
saying.
else, Brian?
So, but what I'm saying is,
I understand what you're saying, Brian.
Okay, what I'm saying to you is, you came down on the college kids, and if somebody complains about a loud party during college season,
Right.
they send 5 cops there, and they don't even knock on the door. They go right in and they take yeah. But this is the way it should be in the
So we had
summertime.
a situation Sunday. Andrew, I
Yeah.
don't know if Andrew was involved with the text messages between myself and the chief and a resident, and there was a loud party, and the gentleman was being disturbed, and we deployed the police 3 times until he got a summons and now a court appearance. So we respond to
no.
every situation. If there's a disturbance, they're responsible.
I'm not complaining. My problem is.
You are complaining. You just said
The-
that's
the-
what
well,
your
my-
complaint
the-
is.
no, my
Just say.
biggest complaint is the way people drive.
Okay.
And I'm not saying, and I'm saying, and all I can tell you is they don't have Garden State license plates on them.
Okay.
I don't care where they come from. I'm not going to say where
Well,
they
you
come
just said
from.
they didn't have Garden State. All right.
So do you understand? But
Yes,
you
sir.
understand?
Anything else?
So you're gonna do something about it.
Sure, we're gonna, enforcement's the way.
So
to go.
tomorrow I'm going to see more some action tomorrow.
No, because they'll be undercover. You won't know who's who.
Well, that's good. That's good.
How are you gonna know?
Yeah. Because I can tell you what kind of garb they should wear. So
All right.
you might think this is funny.
No, I don't think it's funny, but you're
Because-
taking a lot of time on it. I understand, Brian, that you're upset about
Because
the
I'm
summer
telling you, if
traffic.
I don't see something done about this, I'm going to go to the prosecutor's office,
All right.
and then I'm going somewhere else.
All right.
Because I've had it.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? 007, a pleasure to see you get up out of that chair.
It's a pleasure to finally get up there.
You remember, it's still the meeting of the July 14th, right?
007, Vinny. A simple question. I understand that you're going ahead with the combat wounded
Mm-hmm.
veterans parking.
Yes.
How are you going to enforce that only wounded combat veterans use it?
Like anything else, I mean, it's the honor system, unfortunately. If there's a tag in a spot, and I mean, if there's a car parked in one of those spots and they don't have their tag on their plate or on their windshield, of course, they'll be ticketed.
Can
but
I suggest that
Sure.
there is a tag that's put in there? Because
they're on their license plate.
the handicap
I know.
parking is ridiculous.
Violated, yes.
I just
listen, I'm hoping folks really honor this because it'd be a sin not to really. it's something good,
Yeah.
something great you're trying to put out there.
As a
For
veteran,
that to be-
I know.
It's not nice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Geiger, come on up. If you can. There you go.
True.
Leave that chair there.
Wait, I have to get my wallet out to check and see if I'm still Miss Don Geiger. And I still live at 1108 Grassmere, but I think I do. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Let me start
Okay.
with our eminent barrister. Now, I hate to disturb your meditative state.
I can sleep with my eyes open, but go ahead.
I noticed that. Anyway, on the last decision, that on that gap year for COA, that was sort of kind of knocked down, but it was from what I read, seemed a little loosey goosey. And in fact, they said, "Well, we're not going down, but you have to take into consideration." Does that help us at all?
I have actually reviewed it briefly. Unfortunately, I have some difficulty reading, but I reviewed it a little bit. I haven't spoken to our COA counsel, who was the lead attorney in that case, so I need to speak with him to give you a definitive. To me, I looked at it as a positive.
It's a positive. It
resolution
decreases
on
our
that.
numbers. We don't know exactly how much, but it certainly does help.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'll check back next time.
Compared to what was the law before, or what the previous decision was, that was a helpful decision.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vince, King Vince, when will the no-knock thing actually be available for us general public?
Ta-da.
A week from Monday.
There we go.
Is that a guarantee?
It is.
If he has to get here 6:30 in the morning, Monday.
A week from
He
Monday.
will
So
be
you're
here.
saying the
You didn't say a
8th
week from which Monday?
this Monday?
From a Monday.
A week from this coming Monday. Yeah.
Okay, so that's, let's see,
That will be
18th. So a week from then will be the 25th.
It will be.
And if I come on the 25th, I can sign up.
And when you come in, you can certainly bring your tax payment because you'll have your bill by then.
Twofer.
Well, maybe, no. You're not getting my money until the last possible minute.
All right.
I know you like to come visit us, but you can sign up online.
No.
You can?
I know.
too easy.
I'm just saying, not just for you, but for anybody.
But what about the sticker?
We'll mail it to you.
But then that incurs the cost of postage.
Well,
But
you're,
it saves labor costs.
I'll think about
We're
it.
trying to make
it's more
it easy.
environmentally friendly than having you drive here.
True.
Emissions, we're thinking.
Good point.
Traffic.
Have you heard any more on the West Park entrance exit for BJ's, that big jug handle? Because I had to go in that way, and it's more the entrance. I didn't go out that way, so I don't know about the exit. I know that's a county road, and some of it may possibly be. I know they're trying to hash that out.
Still trying to hash that out. As we talked, they did do the entrance on the 35,
Right, I saw that. That's
but
beautiful.
they still need to take care of the one on West Park Avenue. There's some disagreement about who's responsible for what, but we're trying to get that resolved.
Okay.
It is.
Moving right along, the bike lane lanes, I should say, on Logan. I think some people, I haven't gone down this evening, but I'm almost sure some people are still not getting the message about their cans. Brush is
Letters going in the mail tomorrow.
Okay.
A reminder to everybody on Logan and Sunset who's impacted by the lanes. So it will remind them about the garbage containers and the recycling containers to keep those off the street and behind the curb. The brush, sometimes there's going to be some amount of brush in those lanes. We're just asking people to try to preserve as much of the lane as they can and reminding them to use their garbage container for small amounts rather than just leaving a small pile in front of the house. Put it in the garbage. We'll pick it up that week.
Okay.
And the no parking signs will be we're going to go out there tomorrow to survey where we want to put those signs. So those will probably be going up in the next few weeks.
Okay. Moving along. Well, actually, two things on the letter. So let me start first. When do you project the repaving of the layer? Before Labor Day?
Yes. The contractor is back in town. He's doing some drainage work, and he wants to do, I think, he wants to bundle Allaire, Corley's, probably Bound Road while school's out of session, and one more street, and he will bring the paving crew in to do those four together.
Okay. The other comment on Allaire, as you approach 35, now there's the job and all that stuff. Now, if you want to progress, people come out and they block they want to make a left turn,
Right.
they stick their nose out and they block everything up, so you cannot possibly either make a right turn
Or
or
get
in this
in,
case go straight across and then go up to hit Foodie Town. Is there anything we can do about that, or we're just stuck with it?
I don't know if you're coming off that jug handles.
No. I'm on the layer, heading
I see.
straight towards 35. There's a jug handle. Happened to me tonight. One person decided, oh, well,
He wants
I
to go
think
south.
Well, one guy went to the right of him so he can kind of creep out.
Right.
The other person went out and went into a left-hand turn lane, but whoops, blocked up not only the left turn lane, but the right lane.
Right.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
hello?
Another one I drive every day, and that happens. When that happens, you're waiting a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know whether we can do anything about that.
You can't put a sign, hurry up and scoot across.
Yeah, or don't block traffic.
Don't block the intersection. I wanted signs putting up alternating cars on the jug handles. I'm hoping the state comes around with that improvement also. So when you do come to a jug, you know to alternate.
Yeah.
You go, he goes. You go, he goes.
I see that a lot on.
We need it on West Park. We need it on a
That
few
happens
areas.
actually for me fairly often. They'll alternate.
Right.
And sometimes not, but more often than not, they will alternate. Okay. And I know it might take them a while. You remember my thing on how many tickets were issued just for that particular focus on distracted driving? I filled the form out.
Okay.
Now, I know it takes them a little bit of time to look at those numbers, but I haven't heard anything yet.
I would check back with them to see what the hold up because
Okay.
they usually would turn it around pretty quick.
I'll go on the link.
Okay.
Email them.
Yep.
It's easy. And would you believe? Oh,
Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to my favorite people at Public Works. Hi, Mary. Hi, Nancy. Have a great day. Beautiful weekend.
Yeah, they watch every morning from that camera. Right there. They do. They really do, and they get a kick out of Don acknowledging them. Mr. Leffler, I just have somebody else coming up. I think Mrs. Hudson, and then you can come back up, okay?
This is about concern for what action the township may take to stop the yeshiva from both reconstructing the building and occupying it. Township Attorney Arbus has said that if the judge rules in favor of the yeshiva, there is presumption that the final ruling is likely to be in favor of the yeshiva. Since the BOA and Township have implied they would take whatever action is necessary to see justice is rendered in light of our BOA's unanimous decision rejecting the yeshiva, and since letting the yeshiva reconstruct would enhance any final decision in their favor, the question becomes when and how Ocean intervenes, as well as where they would file an appeal, since courts have not consistently ruled on this religious law.
Great, thank you. We won't know anything until after the judge makes her decision on the 21st. So we're really not going to make a comment on that until then, because their attorneys may take whatever we say here, taped in this meeting, and bring that to that room. So I think it's prudent just to wait and see what the outcome is, and then we'll take action from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Brian.
Yeah, just to make one other point, because my wife, she took the dog to PetSmart the other day, and she complimented about those bike lanes. I'm just curious why they were put on those roads. Is it because years ago you told me, Mr. Brennan, that the objective was so people could ride their bikes from Sunset Avenue Bridge to the library. Now let me ask you a question. Do you and your son, ride to the library?
I have.
Okay, so well, God bless you. So okay,
Good
but
question.
but my other question is
Just to answer your question, why were they put there? We did a study. The state
and
of
you
New
got a
Jersey
grant,
paid
and
for
you
a
got a
study.
grant, I
Well,
believe.
whether we got a grant or not, we did a study, and
Yeah.
that was one of the areas designated for bike lanes.
Because
So we're following the study.
Because on Logan Road you got when you pave that road, you got on almost every intersection you got one of those signs, crosswalk. You know,
Not every intersection, but
well, pretty much. Okay. My other question is, this is to you, Mayor, is we have a large summer population that comes here, and listen, you know what I'm saying to you is, why don't we have bike lanes on Deal Road,
I'm gonna address that in about 10
Whale
minutes.
Pond Road, and Monmouth Road? Even though Monmouth Road is a county, so when these people come here, they go to shul, they ride their bikes on Saturdays. It would be so much more accommodating for them to have a lane for them to ride in.
We're gonna discuss
It would be
that
so
first.
much more safer for
Yes.
them,
Brian, you're right, and we will
So-
discuss that. I'm gonna address that in about 10 minutes when I get up there.
especially on Deal Road and Whale Pond.
Okay.
We actually discussed that in
Yeah.
workshop.
Okay, so I'll bring it up and I'll let you know what we're planning on.
Even though they may not ride in it, because my opinion is you could pave a whole lane for those people, and they would still ride down the middle of the road. So thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Marowitz.
Shortcut, Paul.
Trying to be more efficient.
No
Paul.
traffic jams.
Paul Merowitz. My wife had foot surgery 3 weeks ago. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been playing chauffeur. And I visited nail salons and a whole bunch of places that I've never been before. It's been very interesting. But the one thing that I've observed is, and I've never really observed this before because I haven't had to observe it, is the availability of handicap spots. I've gone to some places with her where the handicap spots are literally the furthest from the front door of the place we're going to. Or I've gone to a facility where when I look at the availability of the handicap spots, and I said to myself, how the hell did the planning board ever approve this? During the planning board hearing for the new Toll Brothers development, I believe one of the questions that I raised at the hearing was the availability of the number of handicap spots for a active adult community. Based upon my observations and experiences at Cedar Village, as well as Rolling Meadows, the planning board really doesn't address what would be the appropriate number of handicap spots at an active adult community. The developer looks at our ordinances for an adult active community, and they simply say, okay, we're meeting code. Well, from an adult active community perspective, code isn't good enough. Cedar Village in itself had to expand the number of handicap spots, and we're trying to figure out what we can do to provide more, because the 3 that you provided for 295 homes was totally inadequate, and that was for the young community. Now it's 10 years later, and guess what? We've all aged a little bit. Somehow, I think the council has to address the issue of some form of a modification to our ordinances relative to handicap spots to account for either the age of a community or development that's being proposed, as well as what the location of those handicap spots are in a commercial development. And I think, I don't know who would be the appropriate individuals to address that, but I think it's something that we probably ought to address. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Anybody else? Mr. Hudson, come on up. No.
Thank you, Mayor. Fent Hudson, Mahoris Drive. Just a brief update on a couple items. But first, regarding Resolution 16-136, I didn't quite understand from what was previously said what was happening to the present wading pool.
Oh, the pool's being demolished, and they're gonna reorganize that area as a water park, if you will, for the young kids.
For water
tots,
park,
really.
you're gonna have slides and so forth?
There is a slide
For
option.
smaller children, they'll have
Oh,
slides.
small, yeah,
yes.
very.
But
Well,
they'll have
they-
those umbrellas, the spray features, things like that.
Okay, is there gonna be a wading pool in here somewhere?
Well, the main pool will stay intact as is. The kiddie pool is the only portion that's going to be disturbed. So that,
Well, that's what I assumed the wading pool was.
Well, it depends what you refer to it as, but the kiddie pool will be gone. Will be replaced with this activity pool.
Okay,
And they're not just for young kids, they're for the young at heart.
okay.
Welcome to run through the sprinklers.
All right, just a couple of updates then, very briefly. What's happening with the West Park Avenue traffic study?
Great timing.
Good, perfect.
Got an email from the county. They're hoping to have it finalized by the end of next week.
And
Study.
then what's gonna happen?
Then we're going to take it and we're going to go with them to the state to try to get some of those concepts further refined and developed in the projects.
Okay,
Funding.
yeah. all
Send
right.
letters. We'll give you the addresses of who to mail them to.
Okay, is there any thing we should know about changes in the affordable housing obligations?
Not right now. That matter is in litigation. It was held up as a result of this gap litigation that has now been decided by the appellate division. Probably going to go to the next step to the Supreme Court, but I don't think much has changed. We're still waiting for, I guess, a trial for all the municipalities and experts back and forth. But we're going to have an obligation that we're going to have to comply with, obviously.
Okay, but we don't know what it is.
Well, we don't know what it is because our number may be challenged. Our number is what we set forth in our reports from however long ago, but that may be subject to challenge.
Okay, and is there anything on the legal front that has happened recently?
Related to
Anything?
Illegal matters pending.
anything related to Ocean Township? Because in the
Well,
legal
Stop
front,
and
there's
Shop.
nothing on the legal front related to Stop and Shop. Complaint answers filed. Nothing else has really happened on that. COA, like I've explained to you, you understand where we are on the yeshiva matter. There's nothing new that I can think of.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay, if not, at this time, I'm going to come down, I'm going to deliver the State of the Township address. Shouldn't be too long, but we have a little slide presentation. Hopefully, we have our kinks worked out, right? Good, thank you, Vin. Okay, forgot we were doing this already.
I don't know how much you want to darken it with the camera.
So hopefully he can see that.
Well, we'll get a spotlight on Steve.
So the intent of this was, got that all set? That one over top?
There you go. That's the one.
Okay. As you all know, it's been about a year since myself and my mates up here took office back in July of 2015. And so at the time during the campaign, whatever, we decided, well, we know where the town was. We had a vision of what we wanted the town to be and where we were going to go in the future. And then there were some issues that we inherited also that we had to deal with. And not things that were left untended to, but just they developed, they grew over time. So we're going to address all that tonight and hopefully give you a little idea of where we're at, where we were, and where we're going, of course. So we'll look back at the last 12 months. So some of the key categories, as you can see, are going to come up here. Access to government. Budget finance, of course, you get the budget report. Quality of life issues, some have been brought up tonight. Economic development. And, of course, access to government. So I'll start with that. Right away, the very first thing we did was add the Coffee with the Mayor sessions, which have been very successful. So I have folks coming in Monday and Friday afternoons between 1 and 4. If they have any issues, any concerns, they're able to come in, talk to the mayor, express to me what it is. And if I can expedite their situation or get to it or handle it quickly, I just walk across the hall, I find Andrew answering emails from 2 years ago, and then we're able to get to it and address it. Sometimes a little more complicated than that, of course, but I think just that alone, it's opened up. I've had hundreds, literally hundreds of visitors so far. I put on about 5 pounds and went through many, many donuts and a lot of coffee, but it was well worth it. We found out that was really something great and something that we wanted to do. Also, folks follow along. I have on the mayor's Facebook page. We would give updates and reports. So myself, Rob, all the other council members, Donna and Bill would be out there, and Richie, and we're following the trucks around. We're getting reports. We know where the snowplows are, about what their ETA is, how long they're going to be in neighborhoods, etc. So we're able to let folks know on Facebook so they're not wondering, hey, how long is it going to take? How long are we going to be snowed in for? Is this gonna be an all-day event, an all-night event? Is it a couple of hours? So, well received, we're getting a lot of compliments on that one also. Upgrades, of course, we put the cameras in the meeting room, the very first thing. So from the very first day we took office, you notice we started taping these meetings, and they're archived now. So any meeting that you've seen, here's one from the June 23rd. Steve will play it for us, and just to give you a little preview of what you, in case you missed it. Who's that guy? So that was someone who actually did a good deed in town. It was a Pepsi organization, and they helped all those stray animals that were picked up in Howell Township, etc. But we archive all that. We've had on there firemen who've had over 50 years of dedicated service to the town. We've honored them at the meetings. So if you want to look back at that and see that, that's on there. You want to see the Memorial Day service or the Veterans Day service or Christmas tree lighting, menorah lighting, all those events are archived on there. I really recommend, if you really want to see something really cool, very interesting, go back to the November 2015 meeting and the December 2015 meeting, and we had the World War II and the Korean War vets come in, and just giving them the microphone for a few minutes, I'm going to tell you, it was really well worth it. It was the best thing I think we've ever done. So that's archived, that's taped on there. So again, access to that. Also, we have a lot of upgrades going. You notice we added the new camera there, new microphone, which works now. And we're taping pretty much every event in town. Like I said, Memorial Day, any of the other services, 4th of July, things like that. Also, the planning board meeting and zoning board meetings are now on that access, so TV. So it's channel 27 on Ocean TV if you have Cablevision, or it's channel 22 if you have the FiOS service.
So 77 you
Did I say 77?
Yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah, 77 for cable.
77 Cablevision, 22 for FiOS, like I said. Thank you, guys. Granicus meeting software. So now you're able to go online and get the updates on the meetings. So you can see what's on the agenda, what's been posted. The minutes also are up there. Vin's been very good at getting all this on there. He's very quick now. He gets in here very early. We see him in the morning. So upgrading our software and just be able to use that just gives you a little more access to what's going on. If you missed a meeting or you didn't get to see it on TV 77 or 22, you're able to pick it up there. Reintroduce the newsletter. So this came out again. And once again, just to let you know about town events, what we're doing, what's new, what's coming, what you can expect to see coming up in that season. And also, you learn by doing this a little bit. So our next newsletter, of course, is going to have our zones on there, right, Andrew?
Yes.
So everyone knows exactly what zone, everybody here, I'm zone 3, what's that mean? Where is that? So we're going to actually define that for you. So you know what zone you're in, when you're garbage, when you're bulk, all that leave collection, everything's in there. Okay, you heard me talk about this, Report It. It's a very new app, and it's something I'm really proud to have be part of. And I met a friend of mine over here, a guy I went to high school with. His name's Ray over here. And he kind of came up with this idea. We weren't classmates, believe me. He was in a different class altogether. But Ray has this Report It app. And basically, just what it says, see it, say it, report it. Anonymous confidential reporting. So if folks want to report something, let's say, like it says up there, about making Ocean Township a better, safer place to live, work, play, allowing residents to share important information anonymously. That's an option, and confidentially. So if they see a pothole or something up in the left here, you can report it from your mobile phone, right? It goes right to me, or whatever department. We're also linking with that our Public Works Department, code enforcement, things like that. Again, 911 emergencies, you go 911, police activity, things like that. I do get calls for parking and cars on the wrong side of the street. That'll come to me and I'll dispatch that to traffic as well. But those are there, they're available to you. A lot of times people are uncomfortable maybe saying their neighbor's property is unsightly, it's unkempt, it needs cutting, it needs maintenance, anything. You can report that now from your mobile phone anonymously. We won't know who it is. I'll get a text. I'll be able to answer you right back. Okay, thank you for giving me the report. I'll send it out. I'll make sure it gets to the right department, and your situation will be handled. So just one more way to get this open, us accessible to folks. So if you have a situation, we can handle that for you. We're the first municipality in the country to be on this application. And I think that's great. And also you're going to see coming next is going to join is going to be the ATF, right? And I think someone else big, who else is going? and some other law enforcement. Thank you, Ray. Ray's our developer of this app, so he knows everybody that they're going after. But it's going to be big, and I'm glad that we're part of it. So just something else to help make Ocean Township a better and safer town. Report it. So that's coming. We're live with that now. Also, this slide presentation will be online tomorrow, hopefully. And then you guys can really pick up on that if you want to add a link to it. Website redesign. If you notice, we've done some redesigns on the website, make it a little more friendlier for folks to use it. Find us on there. Find maybe if you want to get to mayor and council, you want to get an ordinance, you want to get to any department. It's far more accessible now than it was before. The links are a lot better, and it's a lot better looking too. A little sexier looking. Oh, you saw that we had coffee with the mayor. That was a nice flash there, Steve. I like how you did that. And again, back to the coffee with the mayor sessions. Again, been very productive. Folks have come in with that. Again, several hundred have come in and sat down with me. So I think that's wonderful. Let's turn to the next slide, Steve. Budget and finance. So you heard us talk about this. Again, before we even sat and took office during the campaign, we're talking about stabilizing the tax rate. Well, we've done that. Our second budget was introduced back in April. We've done it again for 2016. So you've had a flat tax rate again without compromising services. In fact, we're ahead of schedule. What we wanted to do was add 3 more police once we took office in 2015 of January. And we were going to do that over a 3-year period. So one in 2015, 2016, 2017. And fortunately, we're ahead of schedule. We're able to add that 3rd police officer this year. So we're already ahead of schedule. We met their budget. We kept it stable. We didn't increase anything. And we've added some other services to you as well. Stabilizing health cost insurance, lowering cost plans. The high deductible plan, folks are starting to really buy into that HSA. So the health savings plan, things like that are really helping us a lot as well. So budget-wise, we're doing great. More shared services. So we're finding more shared services that we can do not only with TOSA, but also, as you see, this courtroom here is used by West Long Branch for their court. And we're getting about $131,000 a year just from that. And we're also looking to branch out and do even a little bit more. Deputy Mayor Garofalo suggested we even look into maybe getting away from the county health inspections. Maybe we can be a regional health inspection service. We can do that for other towns as well. So depends on how our contract goes with them. That's an option that's out there. If that happens, I think we'll wind up doing well with that. Municipal bond, recasting our bonds. So when you have a good rating, you're able to get very favorable financing. Just by refinancing our bonds, recasting them, equates to a savings of over $800,000. This is big. So these are the things that we're looking at. And this is how we're stabilizing the budget. Always thinking outside the box. Quality of life. So I think you've seen we're bringing a lot of these. The bike lanes was one right now, and Brian had mentioned why don't we bring them in other areas. And our goal is really, we have them now on Sunset, Logan. So the intent is you can actually ride your bike from Sunset Avenue, from the bridge, go down Logan Road, you can cut through Palea Park, cross Dow Avenue, get through the school there, cross West Park and get right to the pool. So basically we've linked south to north. Now I'd like to also get it east to west and west to east, and maybe some other roads along the way. Deal Road is one of the ones we discussed, really all the way from top to bottom, just crossing the intersections. We have to, work with that. It's a little dangerous. Also Monmouth Road, things like that. So we really want to link these bike lanes and these safe lanes all over. West Park Avenue indoor tennis and sports facility. That's something else that we're bringing over there. It's going to be new to that area. We have the tennis courts outside now. Bringing that indoor facility gives the high school team a chance to play indoors in case it's inclement weather. Also, they'll have a state-of-the-art facility if they want to host maybe the Shore Conference or the state tournament. They can do it themselves right there. And then, of course, we'll take over the building. We get the revenue from it, and then we'll have it in the years to come. If we want to rent it out for any facilities, we can do that for any other activities. We've done some renovations to the West Park Senior Center there on West Park Avenue as well. Made some upgrades and changes to it. The Oakhurst Meeting Room renovations over there behind Fireman's Field. That too has been renovated. And the new Township logo, which you see here, you'll see here, of course, up on the dais and behind here. When you used to come into this room, it really had no identity. You didn't see, it was just a very generic, this could have been on any TV program, right? You didn't know where you were. But we've added that, kind of give us a little identity. This is Ocean Township. So we went with some logos here that kind of depict different parts of the town. Listen, we were incorporated before San Francisco. We're an old town. We should be proud of that, right? 1849. So let's run with it. Golf course dedication to Mayor Larkin. He was the one instrumental in helping us preserve that golf course. It was really on the tarmac, and it was scheduled for somebody who really wanted to buy that and develop it. So if you think about what he did by, having us go out and buy that golf course and saving it, we preserve that in perpetuity. So we'll always have it. It's a gem. New bandshell concept, you saw a flash up there as well. So at Palea Park right now, what you have is that crude stage that all the events are done right there. If you see the Italian American Festival, 4th of July, and Fall Fest, anything we do, you get all 30, 40 people up on stage. Particularly if it's election year, they all come out, right, at the festival, and they jump up on the stage, and you just don't feel safe. Like, holy smokes. So we came up with the idea we're going to redesign it, make it a really nice bandshell, something that we can use in the summer, maybe do movies, theater in the park, things like that, nice events. We're going to reorient it and put it so it backs up to Whale Pond Road, and the sound projects going west. So the whole 250 acres of the park will absorb any of the ambient noise and noise that comes out of that. It's just going to be a really terrific design. Folks are going to love using that over there. Activity pool design we mentioned also over at the pool. Again, that pool was built in the early 70s, and there hadn't been very many upgrades to it. They might have changed the filter a few times, right, Andrew? So I'm excited about that because you see these activity pools as you go to different boardwalks and other parks, and basically what they are elaborate sprinkler systems with nice, mushrooms and teapots and things like that, and the kids love it. And the parents love it also, and it's something that they get. Not many kids anymore sit there and just sit in a little, 18 inches or a foot of water. They like the activity of moving around a little bit and having that. And they've got the slip-resistant flooring there, so we're excited about getting that going. The no-knock ordinance that we mentioned before, so we'll be ready a week from Monday. You heard the man? And again, this evolved from, we took a look at the ordinance, the solicitor's ordinance that we had in place that was very old, and that old solicitor ordinance went from 9 to 9. Folks can solicit 9 to 9 any day of the week. We looked at that and said, let's tweak this a little bit. So we did. So we made it so it's 9 to 7, more reasonable hours, because let's face it, in the wintertime, at 5, 6 o'clock, it gets dark. Folks don't like anybody coming to the door at 9 o'clock at night. They're already in bed. At least my mom is. I'm sure some other folks are as well. So we tweaked that a little bit. We took out the Sundays, no soliciting, and then the exemptions, of course, are the Girl Scouts and the Jehovah's Witness religious organizations and the politicians. But we have this registry now that you can go to and put your name on the list. The solicitors have to come in. They have to have an ID badge. They have to go through a background check, so you know who's coming to your door. And they'll also get this no-knock list to see who's on it, and they'll know not to go there. To reinforce it, you'll have your sticker that we introduced that was flashed up there, I'm sure, right, Steve? I didn't see it, but it's up there. There you go. That you can display on your door. If you don't want to display it, it's your option. It just reinforces that you're on that registry. Okay. Community events. So we're big on that, as you know. We brought back the parade. Unfortunately, we got threatened with heavy, heavy downpours, and it didn't rain. So we canceled the Memorial Day parade, and we did try to save it, and we got a little parade going into the park on the 4th of July. It was well received. It was very nice, but we are bringing back the Memorial Day parade, and it will be on the Sunday from now on, just before the Monday of Memorial Day. In case we have a rain event, we can reschedule. But that's one of the community events. The Christmas tree lighting we did, very well received. Over 150 folks that show up to that now. The 2 menorah lightings, we do it on the first night and 8th night. That's growing as well, and many more events coming. So we also added the Veterans Day as well, too. So community events are still coming. It's something that we want to strengthen and reinforce. Economic development. So what can we do to try to bolster business in town? One of the things we came out with, of course, was the Own Ocean program, which is a direct property tax rebate program, if you will. So the businesses sign up for it, all right? You'll take your card, you'll go in to a participating business, you'll buy your sandwich or your goods or whatever it is. Whatever the cost is at point of sale, they'll take a percentage off. Thank you, like that card Brian has. And that'll go to... Thank you. It'll be... Okay. Thank you, sir. This is a presentation, no hecklers. But anyway, so that goes directly to your property tax, and at the end of the year, you get a rebate off your property tax, or you'll get a check. Something to help businesses. Listen, they spend a lot of money trying to get people in the door. By signing up for this program, they'll get folks in, and it's been working out pretty good so far. West Park Avenue Corridor Study, which we mentioned, finally are getting some headway on that. And so just some improvements that are lined up for West Park to try to make it flow a little bit better reorganize the circles, things like that. That's coming. The Heritage Village at Oakhurst, the affordable senior. So with the advent of the flooding of Poplar Village, we were down about 64 units, so we needed to replace them somewhere. Heritage Village came through, not the ideal spot that we want, but it serves a great purpose. It's affordable housing, under $1,000 a month for folks to live in a decent place. The free billboard advertisement, as you'll see on Highway 35, so we made a deal with the owners of that, I guess it was Outdoor Marketing, and they're able to put us up there and let us advertise some of our community events for free, which is great. So once in a while you'll see us flash something up there. That's been working out. Seaview Square Mall redevelopment. So they have plans now to tear down Value City. Now this mall was at about 20% occupancy when I first came on council. Now it's at about 85%. Once they tear down Value City, they have a few tenants lined up, good tenants, long-term tenants. And so they'll be pretty much near 100% occupied. So that's great for them, and it's great for us. Because I've watched that valuation drop because of the vacancies. And now, hopefully the owners aren't watching, but the valuation might go up. Could happen. Good for everybody. Small business initiatives. So we had the county come in last year with their initiatives, and then we're going to have another meeting here again coming up shortly. We've done things as far as waiving fees for new businesses under 5,000 square feet, trying to get them in the door. So as far as their electrical inspections, plumbing inspections, permits, things like that, just take the load off. And some of them can add up $900, $800, $1,000. It helps. Every little bit helps. Redevelopment zone incentives. So we're looking at some spots along the highway, and again, we will have a planner come in and discuss that in the future about what we're looking to do, but hopefully wake up some of these areas along the highway that really need to be either redesigned, rebuilt, and something that just help the highway look a little bit better. And there's other areas of town as well, not just on the highway. So the redevelopment zone incentives will be coming. The business here with the GOTC, the business and the township partnership. So we have our, I guess, our monthly meetings, right? So Rob and Rich or myself will go to the monthly meetings with the Chamber folks, and they'll sit down and discuss what's coming up, what's new, what are we doing in town, what they're doing, etc. Just that communications, it's been helping out great. FEMA community rating system. So this is something else. There's some properties that are near the streams and the lakes around here, and they've been receiving very high rates for their flood insurance, whether they flood or not, just because of their proximity to where they are. Brookside Avenue. I know we had a property near the lumber yard over there, so that's near Poplar Brook as well. None of these properties flooded. Maybe they got threatened, but they really didn't. So we were able to have them come in, FEMA. We did a new survey of the town. You saw them marking the telephone poles and doing all that. We're able to get re-rated from a 10 to a 6, which significantly drops the rates. And we're hoping to keep that going down. So just something else we can do. The folks who live there are going to realize a little bit of a break on their flood insurance. And where do we go from here? So again, focusing on the quality of life issues. We're going to continue to do that as they come up. And we're always thinking of something new we can do. We mentioned about the, helping out the wounded veterans. We're going to go with the reserve parking. There it is. That's a better picture than what I have. And I just think we're going to put that in our parking lots here, maybe at the library here at Town Hall, get them at any of our other municipal parking lots, and encourage, we can't enforce, but encourage some of the shop, the big shop owners, maybe even Seaview Square Mall, some of the other shopping centers to please put these signs up. Let's help our vets out a little bit. Just one other thing. Those signs, incidentally, they're free for us. We just have to pay for the shipping to get them here, which is not a problem, and then we'll put them up everywhere. Infrastructure and road improvements. We talked about West Park Avenue. Also, just so you know, we met with DOT, myself and Deputy Mayor Garofalo. We showed them the condition of Highway 35, and they had promised us a few months ago, no problem, we're going to repave in 2018. Well, that's good news, except for we had big potholes there that were swallowing up cars. We couldn't wait till 2018. So we stayed on, we persisted. Bill wrote a letter, and they came back out, and you saw they did a nice job repatching, at least for now. We have some other ideas for road improvements on 35 as far as addressing the barrier and maybe some other road improvements for the circles, things like that, to really help that out. So that's coming 2018. We hope to have all that in place for you. You heard Mr. Arbus discuss our COA obligations, and we're always fighting that. So this is not a can that was kicked down the road, but something that's really starting to come to bloom now. We have to address it. There's several pieces of property in town that are now vacant that will be developed. So our role here is to really how we can control the development on there. We can't stop it. It's going to happen. So whether it's the corner of 35 and Deal Road, or it's the Toll Brothers property, and there's several others that we've been involved with, they're going to be developed. Our job is to control, make sure it's smart growth, something that works for everybody, the town, the schools, traffic control, all that. So we're working on that. We have some plans that we've been kicking around, and as they come in, we look at them. We try to make them the best possible thing, send them off to the planning board. So they're going to probably be busy the next year and a half. We're going to be seeing a lot more applications, but they're coming, and we're going to deal with it, and we're prepared for that. Development of revenue streams. So always looking outside the box. Like I said, Deputy Mayor Garofalo mentioned, why don't we look into maybe being a regional health inspectors ourselves? Why are we doing it with the county? That's one way. I would love to take Asbury Park's sewer collection. Why not? There's something there. They can take back their sewer treatment plant, decommission it, build a high-rise. Good for them, good for us. We can handle the capacity. So we're always thinking outside the box. The new sports center over at West Park Avenue, again, it's going to start out with some revenue slowly, but towards the end, you're going to see it really build up. Our pool complex over there, when it was built early 70s, is very contentious. I know there's a lot of folks who were against it, didn't want it built. That's probably our biggest money maker in town right now. That actually out-earns Lock Arbor Beach Club. And I foresee this sports center doing the same thing 15, 20 years from now. I won't see the benefit of it, but folks that live here will see the revenue benefit from that. So that's where we're going. We're prepared really to take the town into the next step here. We're just glad that we're able to not just sit down idly and just let things go on its own inertia. We've been very busy. Everybody's been very active in helping out here. And so I want to thank you for your time. And if you don't have anything else, or if you have any questions, just let us know, or we'll make a motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, so if nobody else has anything, we have a... Oh, go ahead, Mrs. Hudson, please. Mrs. Hudson, if you hang on one second, I'm going to ask Ray Sobieski to come on up just for a minute. He can expound on Report It before we adjourn. He's going to answer a lot of those questions. If you don't mind, Ray, I surprised you. Mr. Ray Sobieski, everybody, and he's from Report It.
And Chris and I did graduate 77 together, and he was a good student.
As far as he heard.
Eighth
As
grader.
far as I heard. I never saw him in class, but I heard that.
We're in those honor classes.
No.
Would not see you there.
So currently you need a mobile phone, but within the next several months you'll be able to do it from a desktop computer. Okay, and basically it's an app that we developed, and the overlying concept is this single app that you'll have on your phone, depending where you are, will allow you to generate a report anonymously to different agencies. So, for example, if it's not there yet, but at some point we hope, like if you're in Newark Airport and you see a suspicious package or an unattended package, you'd be able to use the Report It app very quickly to generate a report, and it would automatically send it to the right people to receive the information. Okay, and you could do that anonymously. And then if you landed in San Francisco and you saw an unattended package, you wouldn't have to have a different app. You could just report. So for Ocean Township, what we've done with Chris, and we asked Chris to work with us, basically, if you have the app on your phone, or if you don't, you can take a picture, answer a couple of quick questions, and we kind of guide you through what's your question about. Is it quality of life? Is it code enforcement? Is it maintenance, public works? We ask you, you can attach a picture or a video, put in your comments and send it, and he'll immediately get a notification that he's got a new report. And he'll look at it. We've been doing some testing, and Chris will look at it, and then he'll respond to it, and then very quickly he can forward it to the other departments in town to get a look at it and take care of it. So it's not for emergencies. It's not a 911 replacement, but if you do see, a crime prevention tip or something like that, you can use it for that as well. It can help people, yes. That's the whole app, is trying to get everybody in the community better connected because we all have mobile phones now, and that technology exists, so you can get connected very quickly, and you really become, you know, how many residents? 30,000 residents. So I mean, you know, out of those 30,000 residents, maybe 15 or 20,000 have smartphones. That's like 15 or 20,000 extra cameras in the town to provide information.
If I wanted to get a picture, say, an aerial picture, which I know I can get, of Monmouth Road at a certain time, I can send that to the mayor?
If you can get the picture, you can send it to them. Yeah, you can either take a picture in the app, or you can attach a picture that you have.
An aerial view of Monmouth Road.
Well, if you have the picture, yeah.
I know I can
Yeah. Yeah, you can send that. Thank you, Chris.
Hang on, Ray. You might have other questions. Go ahead. Jermaine to report it? Okay.
What kind of status reporting exists in the app? And number two, to what degree will the database be available for public inspection?
Right now, the information, so consider it if you picked up a phone and you called the office, okay, this is kind of a replacement or an addition to that. So Chris has the ability to send the information, okay, he can respond to the reports, even if you submit it anonymously, okay, he can send you back a notification as to the status of what you reported or what he plans to do. As far as the information being available, the information is owned by the town, so I think that would be up to the town as to what they would do with that.
Town is subject to open reporting requirements and electronic data as part of that statute, therefore that data would have to be available to the general public.
You know, that's a good point. I'm not quite sure of the answer right now, but I would guess that, again, if it's anonymous, so it would be reported anonymously, but the information.
It's information that's in the database maintained by the township.
Yeah, I'd have to look at all the different exceptions to the Oprah request and to the rules. It might not.
Yeah, it would be the same as if you got a, and I don't know what it is, if you got a 911 call or those public record.
As long as it's not currently being investigated by.
Yeah, I mean, but here, they may be subject to investigation. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You'd have to see the kind of report, and you're probably right, but I'm not sure.
Same as an email.
Great. Anybody else? Yes, Susan.
You can just go from your mobile phone. From your mobile phone, you can go to reportit.com from your Safari right now, from your Safari browser, and download it. No charge.
Gotta be Safari.
No, whatever your browser.
I just the way.
Safari, Chrome, whatever you have.
I just the way you said it. And is it available on the App Store or no?
It is. It's easier to get to. What we did is we set up a link so you don't have to go through the App Store and look. If you just go to reportit.com, it'll say you can download it right here.
Droid and iOS?
Yes. Okay, and then Chris is going to post some instructions on how to use it.
It'd be up tomorrow, yeah.
Yep. But basically, once you download it and install it, you do a search nearby, you find Ocean Township, talk to the mayor, it's called, and you can go and create a report.
Great. Anybody else? Yes. Well, for everything that we've archived, so if you go to our homepage, it's on there. If you go to oceantownship.org, right, click on Mayor and Council, very important. If you go on ours, and then at the bottom of our page, it'll have any of our meetings that you want to see. Click here. You can click there, and they will all populate. They'll all be up there. Anybody else? All right. Someone please make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
See, you're gonna make fun of me.
I know.
God pun.
Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, thank you all for coming, and meeting's adjourned. Remember, we air twice a day, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. and channel 22 and channel 77. Thank you.
You got that 27 in his head.